Hi, friends, and welcome. I am your hot mess of a host, Mary Hendricks from The Very Merry Life, your new mom friend that soon will feel like an old friend. Twice a week, every week, I want you to come and join me as we cover moments in motherhood, marriage, sex, and more. Some moments worth savoring, others worth surviving, all with a laugh, pep talk, or F-bomb every now and again. I want you to come as you are, but leave the sugarcoating behind because, guys, we know how sweet it already is. So what do you say? Up for picking some daisies?
Buzz
I look like
Lightyear?
No, I remind you, what's that character in the scary movies where he's like, can I show you Malwina? Yeah, can I see?
Yeah, yes. I know.
Officer Doofy or whatever his name is. Officer Doofy.
Yes.
For everyone that, you'll see this episode, but when you do, I have to wear Spencer's stupid headphones for his iPad or his tablet or whatever. So I can't find my other ones because they got stuck in LA, or I don't even know what happened to them. They were in my bag, but
they're
now
somewhere.
They're missing.
You're rocking them though. You're fucking rocking them right now. How are we feeling after LA? Have you unpacked?
No, everything's laid out on my bed right now. So no.
Yeah.
Not at all.
I haven't even gotten my suitcase out of my garage to just put into my house. Like, talk about lazy. So if you're just listening in, Mary and I and Kim Perry from Kim Perry Co. and Kim's sister, and then your sister-in-law joined us, and my bestie from Cali joined us. We were just in Los Angeles. Yeah. We had a friggin' blast.
It was so much fun.
We had a blast, Mary.
The hangover, I feel like I had a hangover from the hangovers. I feel like because I never got hungover.
It's a social hangover.
Yeah, it was a social hangover. It literally dragged.
We never really rested.
No. I actually didn't even sleep that great.
Yeah. Yeah, because it was just like the time change. And then my bed, although the place we stayed at, that was a whole nother thing we could unpack. But the place we were staying at, my bed concaved towards the middle.
No, I don't, Kev.
So
hold on.
Crazy.
Hold on. Hold on. I don't have it, Kev. She doesn't need it. Yeah, she said she. Oh, jeez Louise.
Kids are breaking down.
I know.
Yeah, so I know. We have a social hangover. I was trying to figure out what it was, and someone messaged me, a follower messaged me and was like, you have a social hangover. Like, it's like when you get together with friends, especially friends, like obviously we had never met before. There was just so much conversation and no real downtime where we could just like, hey, I'm going to go lay down for 15 minutes. Like we were on all weekend.
All the time. Yeah. I literally felt like I don't feel like we stopped moving ever. Because the expo, we went to the expo. No, because we got on Thursday. But Katie and I were up at like the ass crack of dawn to get there on Thursday.
Truly.
We get there at like 9. I got there at like 9:15. I got even earlier because our plane there was quick. And then you got in right after me at like 10:15. And then we just kind of had to figure out what the hell we were doing after that. And it was insane. And then we're like exhausted that night. Yeah. That first night, we were like up. Katie and I looked and we were up for like 19 hours that day.
Yeah.
And you and I were like.
Mary gave me a CBD gummy. And honestly, I slept really well that night.
I'm telling you, those are good. It wasn't the CBD gummy because I've had Love You 3 on. It wasn't that CBD gummy. It was the one just CBD that you got.
Yeah, it was just CBD. And it was like just the right amount of, I don't know what kind of tincture, they're all different with CBD, but like, I just felt like, I mean, you even said, you're like, you're not going to feel fucked up. I just felt calm. Like I just wanted to sleep. And I did. Yeah. I slept really well that night.
I know.
And I woke up feeling good. Like I woke up feeling good. So
I woke up at 5:30.
It is. I want to order.
Love You 3. They're so good. Those are just the CBD gummies, like, and then the other ones that have Delta 8 in them. Those ones will give you a zing. I brought those with me too, but the CBD ones are good. Like they're good for just sleep, and they kind of feel like you took a melatonin, but you're not groggy the next day. So those are good. I'll send you the link for that.
Amazing. By the way, Mary's so great. She woke me up that morning and was like, Katie, you have to see the sunrise. Now, we're on the West Coast. We didn't think we were going to see a sunrise, but that sunrise was insane.
Insane. Because we were like positioned perfectly. So this was a story. So when I got in at the airport, Katie and I were hanging out and she looked at me and she said, so I have something to tell you. I was like, oh no. And the Airbnb that originally that we had scheduled or booked canceled on us last minute. And the girls, because they knew that I was freaking out about the plane ride, they decided not to tell me, which I'm actually really glad because I would not have been able to handle that. And we handled it when we got there. And Kim, thank God, Kim and her sister found the one that we stayed at in Malibu, which was wild that even any of that happened because they basically reached out to this guy and was like, hey, you're not going to book it last minute. So why don't we just pay you what we can afford to pay you? You're going to make some sort of money. And then he said yes, which I don't understand why he would, but hey.
Right? It just, everything had to align that way.
Yeah.
I had a feeling the whole time about this first Airbnb. I was like, I don't know. I was telling Mary, like my little feelers were like weird about it. And then when Kim called me the night before, I was packing. Yeah. And I was getting anxiety too. I think I felt your anxiety. I was getting anxiety too. When Kim called me, I was like, holy shit, I'm flying into LA and we have nowhere to put our fucking heads that night.
Nowhere to stay.
Nowhere to stay. I was like, well, I guess we'll just be with the bums down in Melrose Place. I mean, shit.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah. It was crazy.
Oh my God.
But that place was amazing.
So we found that. That place was so nice though. It wasn't like, I'll list the Airbnb for anyone listening. I'll put it in the show notes if you guys want to see exactly where we stayed. It was beautiful. If you ever it was pricey. So just know that we did get a discount on it. But the only thing that I said to you guys afterwards was because it was like, there's definitely touch-ups that they needed to do. Like they could replace the cabinets. Like a lot of them were warped and like they were cheap. So like you could tell the paint was like peeling off of them. And there was like outlets missing, outlet covers missing. Yeah, the floors were dirty. Like our socks were gross. Could have like
used. Yeah, like I think that no one had probably stayed in that unit for a bit.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like, I don't think they were expecting like a whole slew of girls in there. I don't know. I mean, granted, it was still beautiful. We made the most of it. It was still such a beautiful spot and location, and it was just like everything had to have happened that way. It was perfect.
Yeah.
Mary
I don't think
and I
it was
laughed
clean
until we cried, literally.
Oh my God, we did.
Yes.
It was insane. We were
we were giddy. I feel like it was at summer camp.
That's exactly what it felt like. That is exactly what it felt like. Because I kept saying to everyone, I was like, this could have gone completely opposite. Because you and I, like, let's say we talk on pretty much on a weekly, well, we talk on a daily basis, but we talk here face to face on a weekly basis. And then the other girls I talked to, or not just Kim, I never met Michelle before, but I only talked to her like on every other day basis through DM and text message. And, I've had her on the podcast. It's one thing to meet people online, but it's another to be under the same roof. Yeah. That could have been terrible.
Right?
It could have been a terrible experience.
It could have went so bad.
Yeah.
But it didn't.
No.
We all have good energies though. Like Kim is like a very calming force, I feel like.
Yes.
Like she's just like mama bear, calm and just very level-headed.
Yep.
You have you who is like just hilarious. And then me, I'm like just fucking crazy. So
well, hey,
it worked.
Yeah, it totally worked.
And then we had Kim's sister, Michelle.
She's so funny.
She was a trip. I think she was the highlight of the weekend in some ways.
Yeah, she had like the best quotes of things that she just did or said. And I don't think she even meant to be that funny, but she was.
Yeah.
She was.
She's low key. It's what I call low key funny.
Yes. And her and Kim's relationship too, because I would not expect them to be sisters. Like
never in my life. I was like, wait, you two are sisters? Like this is wild to me.
But they went to well so perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think also Michelle was just so happy to be there with Kim. And like, I mean, I mean, it's nice to be like, have a good sister relationship. Like you can tell that they bonded and stuff too. I mean, they're sisters.
Oh yeah.
So we had a great time.
It was
and this is your reminder for whoever's listening. Like if you want to take the girls trip, take the motherfucking girls trip.
Oh my God.
It is so worth it. It's worth the money. It's worth the time. It's worth the anxiety on an airplane.
Yeah.
Like we really did make the most of our, 4 days? We were there a while. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And I was there all day on Sunday.
Yeah. So you had the full 4 days. Mine was like 3.
I had the full 4 days.
Yeah.
Nearly fell on my face by that 4th day. Like I had an overnight flight, the red eye, and whoo.
Yeah.
It was rough, but I made it. I made it.
Yeah.
Got
Oh
off
my
the
God.
plane and just solo parented for 2 days straight. So that was fucking great.
Well, the kids, I had no idea that my kids have half days. They had half days Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. They have no school today or tomorrow and Friday. So I was just zonked and then catching up. That's why I just brought my suitcase upstairs today because it's been downstairs until now. And that's usually not like me. I'm actually someone that like quickly unpacks. But the day that I got in from the airport, I was fucking.
Kev's birthday, right?
Yeah, it was Kev's birthday, but he picked me up from the airport. And when I went to the airport that morning, you saw me right before because we left early. I woke up and immediately had a really bad intrusive thought about the plane. And it like was almost crippling for me. Like I couldn't even like stand up straight almost. Like that's how much like nauseous it was making me feel. And I don't think it helped that I drank the night before because drinking always gives me anxiety. Yeah. So I think it was like a mixture of waking up early and then like alcohol anxiety that just completely gave me like a terrible thought. And so Chelsea my sister-in-law was driving me into the airport and she said, take a Xanax now. She said, because it will be out of your system by the time the plane is landing.
Yes, perfect.
You'll be good. It didn't work. So I'm getting onto this plane nearly hyperventilating. I think if the people on this plane saw me, I know I had people looking at me. I could not stop crying because I was so panicking.
Oh my God, Mary.
And nothing was clicking in. So I ordered a drink once we got up in the air, ordered a drink and I drank that. That on top of the medication knocked my ass out.
Oh, I bet.
And so when I landed, I was like, no lights on behind.
No one's home.
I was like numb to all emotion. Yeah, no one's home. Numb to all emotion, but Lord have mercy.
I'm glad.
I made it though.
I'm so
We're alive.
proud of you. Oh yeah, you're leaving when? Next week, right?
I know exactly a week. I'll be on a plane, right? What time is it? Yeah, we'll be probably on a plane by this time next week.
Oh my gosh. So. Well, at least you popped your cherry with this Los Angeles trip. And you know you can do it and you know you can work through it. And I think this is really good for people listening because maybe your story will help give others the oomph to actually take the trip and go on a plane. I go on planes all the time. Yeah. I still have those thoughts, but like it doesn't consume me. It was consuming you. Especially that morning. You did seem nervous that morning.
Yeah. I couldn't even, but it's wild. So here was like if anyone has an intrusive, like gets freaked out about planes, again, this is not possible. So just know this. It was literally, this was my thought was someone is going to bring a little bottle. This is how it works. This is how anxiety works. The first thing, and it was believable, is someone's going to bring a little container of gasoline and a lighter and light the entire cabin on fire while we're up in the air.
Wow, that's fucked.
Fucked. But it was believable. And I couldn't stop it.
We'll be back after a quick break.
Eye-Opening Moments podcasts are real-life stories of adversity, encounters, and perspectives. They are moments that can lift your spirits, give you some food for thought, or move you. For the introspective mind that likes to reflect, discover, and find solutions or meaning in a complex life, listen to Eye-Opening Moments podcasts.
We did drink a lot the day before.
I know.
Like not a lot in one sitting, like all day long. We just like drank all day long.
Yeah. So, and all I kept thinking about, that's why, like, that's like an intrusive thought. That's like, you know, how we get intrusive thoughts about crazy shit with our kids. It just kept coming in. And that was like, I haven't had, like, I've had intrusive thoughts about my kids about being like, again, when we stayed in this Airbnb, Katie and I kept saying like they had bunk beds and stuff. I would never be able to bring my kids to that one. I'd be freaking out the entire time. Cause like we didn't want anyone to lean against like the railing. Yeah. Or lean too close.
Even us. Like,
yeah.
When we got out there was multiple balconies, but when we got out I was like, no, we all kind of like touched the rail. And we're like, is this gonna, that is not a kid friendly place. But yeah, those intrusive thoughts are all consuming and that's all you think about. But like you said, irrational, that would never happen.
Yeah, they're all irrational.
There's so many steps. Yeah.
No, it is irrational.
How do you think you're going to do next week?
I'll probably cry. I'll be okay. But I think I'll probably be, I hate that we're flying out at night. That kind of kills me because I'll have all day to think about it, which will kill me.
Yeah. Like when you're, like when you got up, you're like half asleep anyway. It's like, all right, now you're at the airport. Yeah. Now you're going to be waiting all day long.
Yeah. So that kills me a little bit. Part of me also is like, I'm glad I went to LA beforehand, but now that I'm home and I'm settled, now I'm like, I'm like going away again. I'm
you
like,
have like, I
just want to like sit
put. You and Kev are going to have the best time ever. Why are you going to London again? What was it for Kev's job?
He got asked to be keynote speaker on just Tuesday, on just one for like an hour. So they're paying for his flight and they're paying for our hotel stay. I think we might be paying, I have to ask him if we're paying like a little extra because we're staying longer than that, but they're paying for all the other stuff and they were allowed. What
a great excuse to get away.
So
when is the last time you two got away together without kids?
2020, October of 2020.
And you had Spencer was born by then?
Yeah, he was a little over a year because I know he had just turned a year. We went for like up to Martha's Vineyard for Columbus Day weekend. So we had that entire, like just a 4-day weekend. Yeah. And that was the last time we did that. So it's been a while.
All right. Well, that's amazing. I think it's going to be great for you guys. You know me, I'm all about like, let's get the hell out of the house, get away from the kids.
Yeah.
I mean, going to a whole nother continent, I'm sure you guys are going to have a blast. And being in London, I'm sure I've never been, but I've heard amazing things.
It'll be good.
You just got to get through the flight.
Yeah, but you know how we were talking in LA and I was saying this? I have like butterflies about going because it's almost like this is like the first time that we're going to be kid free in a very, very, very long time. So there's something kind of like, I don't know. It's very weird.
You're going to reconnect, like, not just physically, mentally,
but like,
emotionally.
Yeah. It's weird. It's weird because it's almost like you haven't seen that person a very long time. So it's like,
you're going to have to force yourself to, it's uncomfortable.
It is.
It's going to be like an uncomfortable silence. Totally. And anyone that listening that doesn't agree with that, there is definitely that. Like when you haven't connected in so long, and I know Bert and I have been there, where like, we haven't had a conversation in a while. It's like, oh, this is awkward. And then you get into the groove. You're going to get into the groove. It's going to be great. Yeah. And then by the time you guys are going to leave, you're going to be like, all right, this was good for us. Let's get back to normal, regular life.
Yeah. That's what I'm hoping for. It's like, it feels like a blind date. It almost feels like a blind date a little bit. Yeah.
Yes.
So
I think it's great that you're doing it. Like, I mean, it's just relationships need to be nourished. I've said this a million times on your podcasts. Like they need to be nourished. And just like any other relationship, they have to you have to nourish them enough that you feel good, they feel good. I think that this is going to be good for you guys.
It'll definitely be.
Also, a little boom, boom. You'll be in a hotel room.
Boom, boom, boom.
You better get your lube out.
I got to bring a lot of it. My parents are staying here, and I was just thinking about that today. My parents are going to stay here and watch the kids, and it's actually working out because I'm having my cleaning service come over and clean. I think that day that we leave, that way it's fresh new sheets on the bed because my parents are going to have to stay in our bed and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
But then I kept thinking, I was like, oh my God, if they accidentally open up my drawer, I have like, how many bottles of lube did I count the other day? Like 20 bottles of lube because all these companies keep sending them to me.
It was a lot. It'd be like, here, mom and dad, have fun. Slip and slide, baby.
Ew. Not in my bed. Lord have mercy.
You just have to pack that shit away. I mean, we already talked about my butt vibrator being found by someone. I don't know who.
Did you say your butt vibrator?
On the windowsill. So
was it a butt vibrator?
No, my vibrator.
My butt vibrator.
No. That is an exit only, Mary Hendricks, okay? I've dabbled a few times. Exit only, please. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no, thank you. No, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. Nope.
Yeah, it's going to be
I used to be like, oh, get me drunk enough, whatever. But now I'm like, absolutely.
I had a friend who only allowed for her husband to do it if he read the entire Harry Potter series. I don't know why that was her thing, but she was like, I think.
Because she didn't think he was going to do it.
And I think he had never done it and she had done it. But obviously most people have read Harry Potter, but she was like, I read it. She loved it. And she was like, I'll do it if you read the entire series, because I guess
Yeah.
he never done it or whatever. So he did, and very quickly. But I said that to Kev, and Kev was like,
Wow.
I have no desire. Like Kevin is like, no, that's like not my.
Like, I really feel like, listen, if anal is your thing, more power to you, but I just don't get it. I can't get behind it.
No,
you see
no
what
pun
I did
intended.
there?
I feel like there's a lot of prep work that goes into that. There's gotta
There
be.
is. I mean, there 100% is.
Wash your
Ew.
ass.
It's just
like
ew.
inside and outside.
Yeah. Wash your butt, please.
No.
It just anything with the butthole region, I'm done. We're good. Don't ask me to touch it or anything.
Ew, not
we're
theirs.
good.
Not theirs. I would never touch Kevin's. Oh Lord.
There are some men that want to be, what do they call it?
Oh
Pegged?
yes. Gross.
It's a
I
thing,
know.
Mary. Yeah. I had an ex-boyfriend.
But no. He wanted
Yeah, not judging. I mean, listen, to each his own. It's a safe space here. Like, honestly, you can't tell us anything that we're not going to be shocked by.
It just might not be for us. Yeah. It just might not be for us.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, an ex-boyfriend's brother that his girlfriend told me, like, hey, like, he likes to be pegged every so often. And I remember being like 20. I was like, what does that mean? And then she told me, and I could never see him the same again. I was like, absolutely not. No. Yeah. Mm-mm.
No.
Too bad you don't do your sex confessions anymore. It'd be like, how many of you peg your husbands or boyfriends?
I did
or whatever?
on I can, because I did them for Cat and Nat podcast. So I had a bunch of people submit in for that, so I can do them again over there. I think we're going to have to, or I just want them like submitted in, that way you and I could read them, and maybe we'll do it like once.
Yes, where you're not flagged on Instagram. I mean, we're already rated X on here, explicit.
Yeah, might as well roll with it. Well, and I want to cover that.
Yeah.
Like, I like covering the sex part, and I like that we're able to do it here. And I like that you and I are able to do it, because we're definitely a little bit raunchier, as we discovered. Oh my God. Actually, we have to talk about that, because I keep laughing so hard about the demon coming out in you in LA. I forget what you said. That was
said, she must suck a mean dick. What? I was like,
no. Okay, but Katie was sitting there. We're all gathered. We are all gathered in the kitchen. We're at this Malibu house on Saturday nights, the night before we're all leaving. And so we're sitting around, and I think Kim was telling a story, and I don't know what she was talking about, but I know it was something that was like more innocent. I don't think she was talking about something raunchy. And she's sitting next to Michelle. My brand manager, Angela, is there, who is the sweetest person ever. So she's sitting across from them.
Sweetest of sweethearts.
Then you got Chelsea, my sister-in-law, sitting across from me, who is like heavily pregnant. And then your friend, who I'm forgetting her name right now, Allison, sitting next to you. Katie's sitting like across from me. And Kim is telling the story, which again, I can't remember exactly what it was, but I don't think it called for what Katie was saying. And Katie
she was talking about, and I don't know, I know what she was talking about. She was talking about, I don't know if it was a sister-in-law or a dynamic of maybe her something, but she couldn't understand why this guy was dating this girl.
Okay.
Who was awful.
Okay. Then that would be why. Okay. Then I missed that.
And that's why I said what I said.
Sense. Okay. So Katie just all of a sudden says, it sounds like she sucks a mean dick, but it came out like a guttural. It was like, sounds like she sucks a mean dick. It was it was so like out of body came out of her. It was like she disassociated from herself. And all of a sudden, Katie, like watching it, she said it, and then she like snapped back into her body, and she was like, oh my God, I am so sorry. And we, like, my sister-in-law, Chelsea, and I were like crying, laughing, because it was like something just emerged from Katie, said it, and then got sucked right back in. And you were just like as shocked as everyone else was.
Because I am a lot, Mary, and we know this. Like I say, I don't have a screen, I don't have a filter. So like, here's sweet and innocent Kim growing her fourth little baby, and she's like just very mildly telling a story about this like heinous sister-in-law or something. And I was like, well, she must suck a mean dick. But like, I said it so raunchy, and then I realized, like, I read the room, and I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. I mean, you and Chelsea were in stitches.
Funny.
Like, you guys were hysterical laughing.
I couldn't stop laughing. Yeah.
It was.
You could read my room anytime and say any of that stuff. I love it. That was the funniest thing ever. I think that
the quieter people get a kick. Like Kim was pretty. Like she was chill. She never was like, oh my God. Like she just was like, But her sister's hilarious and says off the wall stuff too. Like Michelle,
Yeah.
I love Michelle. I want to go. There's nothing I would change about the whole weekend.
No.
I really wouldn't. It was so much fun. Except
so
I
fun.
probably would have out of the gate gotten the car. Like we should have pre-booked that, but that was so easy too.
Yeah. Booking
Like,
the car. Definitely recommend doing that.
We thought we were going to Uber, and Ubers were like $60 one way. Yeah. So if you're going to LA, just do Toro or rent a car. Like,
yeah, the girls did. Was it Toro? You said it was Toro.
They did Toro. I think it's Toro, where it's like an Airbnb. Like you're renting someone's car for either the day or
except
a few
the car
days.
that we had smelled like weed.
Oh my God, stunk like weed.
Yeah. I think they were actually going to tell her. I think she was going to like leave a review for the girl. Just let her know like, hey.
I mean, most rentals, you're not supposed to, smoke anything in. But, we were in LA. Maybe they hit up Compton and, smoked a J. Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was all around such a great trip. So nice meeting you in person. I think a lot of our followers too were like so happy that we met in person. I got so many messages. Like, I love this for you. I love this for you and Mary, my two favorite duos, which makes me happy because I know they're listening to the podcast, especially the ones that I'm on.
So thank you, everyone. No, it was great. Yeah. I honestly, it couldn't have gone better. I love meeting you. I love meeting the other girls, but you and I definitely that's why we podcast every freaking week.
Yeah.
And that's why I asked Katie to come on because we vibe very well.
We do. We vibe so hard. Yeah. And we just that's, I think also why the whole house was just harmonious because we were saying, Mary and I were saying this, none of us are, I hate like these like fake influencers or like very superficial influencers. Like we would take videos and pictures of each other. Not one person's like, oh, don't post that. Let me see it before you post it. Like it just wasn't like that, which I loved because I think we're all comfortable with ourselves, right? Yeah. Like it's such a freeing moment to be like, oh, like I don't even need to look at these pictures because I am who I am.
No, and there was no even a moment. Yeah, and for me, there was not even a moment. Like sometimes you can get, again, we could have ended up with a group where you could have felt like more self-conscious. Like it's very easy to like be with women and then just feel self-conscious about certain things. I never once felt like that. Like no one out of the gate. Right? Like, it wasn't like anyone was waking up and immediately slapping makeup on their face. It wasn't like any of us were like caring as to what we looked like in front of one another. It wasn't like literally. It was so easy.
It was so nice.
It was almost like we've known each other for.
It was so easy. Like I love that.
We've known each other for a very long time, which was easy.
Yeah, right. It's weird, but it felt so right. So I'm like, when's our next girls trip? I'm ready.
I
have to recover though. Like socially, my brain hurts. I
know. I said Nashville.
Just from traveling, not from being with
Nashville
you girls.
Would be fun.
Nashville, I'm game, and then we got to get Chandler in because she lives in Chandler. If you're listening
Chandler,
to this, we're summoning you.
Tennessee. I know they're doing that conference, but even if not, I would just do like no conference and just go down and pretend.
No, yeah. I mean, it's always a good excuse to be like, we got to go to conference, but I would do I've done Nashville twice.
Right there you go.
Yep, right. Yeah, exactly. Nash Vegas, I like to call it. It's like a wild, but everyone's like, bless your heart.
I went to the best.
So, I mean,
I've only been to Nashville once. And when I was there for a bachelorette party, I went to the best gay bar ever when I was down there. And I think it's
which
a drag.
One was it called? I've been to one too.
And I think they have like one major one because my friend went down there for a separate bachelorette party like years later, and it was the same one that we went to. And at the time, we all went to this drag show, and that was great. And then at the end, we couldn't get an Uber for some reason. Their Ubers were like not showing up for us, and we had to wait like an hour.
Weird.
So we went up to the bartender who was like wearing a little Speedo, and he was like the most. Gay men are so freaking gorgeous sometimes, and he.
Yeah, of course.
Was beautiful, like handsome and like chiseled. And he was like, you guys should go in the back. Yep. He was like, you guys should go in the back. There's a club in the back of like a separate part from the drag show. So we went over there. Awesome. Like the best music I've ever heard. And the best part was that it was more primarily.
Yeah. And there's a place where you can be yourself.
And it was primarily gay men. So no women or anything. And not that it mattered, but
Yeah.
it was no one hitting on you. So like the gay men were all into each other and they could give a shit about us. So the girls just went in and we were able to like dance with ourselves and dance with one another and feel like it was so fun. It was so great. So
safe.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? It's just safe. I have a lot of like, especially when I lived in New York City, a lot of gay male friends. Never felt safer in like a gay male bar because like there's no threat. The threat is
actually thinking of that, we'll
so,
say what we did when we all went into this Airbnb. So again, it was last minute, but the fact that we were all like 4 women in this Airbnb and we kept saying we're like,
and it was big.
It was a big place and it was safe and we
there
doors
was
and locks and everything, but we all at the end of the night all put our nightstands in front of our own bedroom doors and like made sure the windows were secure and everything because we were like, what if like
God forbid, like you never know who's lurking. I looked in most bathrooms to see if I can see like
camera,
something recording. I mean, you have to be safe, but it was like our nighttime routine. Like everyone just lock and load.
Well, and we kept saying, we're like, guys don't do this. Like that's crazy.
Be.
Guys don't go to a hotel room and like do any of this stuff.
It's crazy because women aren't breaking in and trying to rape
what
men.
We kept saying? What we were saying, what were we talking about with like serial killers or something? And it was like all about men who've done it. And I just said, maybe we should change it for like a year.
Yeah.
Just to scare the shit.
Yeah. Just scare the shit out of men. Yeah. Why don't we follow them on a run?
Why don't we do that for a year?
Or follow them to their car after leaving a bar.
Like catcall them and
jerks.
Send them. What? Oh, I'm not doing that. Send them like
terrible
vagina pictures.
Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, that's the thing. No. Yeah. Oh my God, this baby is screaming. I hear Bird is trying to put the baby down right now, and she's screaming at the top of her lungs.
That way, also, Katie, before we got on, Katie messaged me and she's like, "We're gonna make this really quick because her and Birdie haven't seen each other in a little while, so they want to rekindle their flame."
I gotta get that dick. Oh, Mary, I miss you so much. Like you don't even know.
We'll catch up again.
It was a friggin' blast.
I'll have to come down to Florida when I'm done with the cold. Well, I'll come down.
You do. So, I'm ready. Whenever you come on into my chaos. Come right on in.
Good. All right. Well, go take care of your little one. And thanks everyone for tuning in. We wanted to make this one quick. We're gonna have Katie on more, and we're gonna make them fast and furious, but fun.
Yeah. So, yeah, we love them. I love being on here, and I love just chatting and making everyone smile and laugh. So we'll see you guys next time.
Another episode down. Thank you all so much for listening. If you loved today's episode, I would be so appreciative if you would leave a rating and review. I cannot begin to tell you how much those mean to me, but also how much they help me get in front of more eyes and more ears. As always, be sure to check back every Tuesday and Friday for a new episode, whether it's an episode with me and my husband, me and Katie, or just another incredible, amazing guest. Stay tuned for more honest, real, raw chit-chat. And hey, do me a favor before you go. Remind yourself how amazing you are, how enough you are, how special you are. And boy, oh boy, I sure am glad to have you here. Thanks, friend.